Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Monday morning. Had some nice thunderstorms last night across much of the state. A lot of us got to fall asleep to some lightning and thunder. And again, we had to deal with some severe weather again yesterday evening, but it wasn't necessarily a widespread severe weather across the state. And we did see some good soaking rains across much of the state, which is something we desperately need. Now that we've gotten kind of one round, we still need more. Again, the entire state under drought, and again, this is a good start, but now we need another round of rain across the state, and hopefully we can get it without severe weather, but there is the threat for more severe storms as we head into this afternoon and this evening. So first, want to dive into, though, look at the rainfall totals over the last 24 hours across the state. Officially at the Lincoln Airport, 1 2/3 of an inch of rainfall between last night and then overnight tonight. And again, we saw widespread rainfall amounts between 1 to 2 inches across much of the state. Again, desperately needed. Platte River's dried up in some spots. Farmers desperately need the moisture. Grand Island and the Kearney area is about 1.5 inches. Not quite as much in Hastings, the official reporting observation there. A little over an inch in areas like North Platte, Lexington, York, 1.6 inches. Epley up in Omaha had around 1/2 inch. Nebraska City, 9100s. Beatrice, 7700s. Hebron, just over an inch. So again, some really good rainfall across much of the state last night. And early this morning here in Lincoln, across the Lincoln Metro on the Tempest stations. Again, some widespread generous rainfall desperately needed. Again, we had about 1 2/3 inches at the Lincoln Airport and there across the northwestern side of town here in Midtown Lincoln. On our Tempest station here at the station, we had just over an inch of moisture, but you can see across much of the Lincoln Metro, we ranged between 1 inch to 1.5 inches to about 1.75 inches in some spots. So again, some much needed rainfall. And we'll be seeing the chance again for additional rain, but unfortunately additional severe storms as we head into this afternoon and into this evening. So we do have a slight risk for the Lincoln area and for the Lancaster County area, an enhanced risk for severe weather. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit across the extreme southeastern parts of the state. But all modes of severe weather are going to be possible. Again, large hail, damaging winds, heavy rain, probably our primary threats. Low-end threat for any tornadoes, but again, we could see a few tornadoes as we head into this afternoon and this evening, especially as storms really start going, as they're a little bit more discreet. And as far as the timing of it, looks like it would be a little bit earlier compared in the day compared to what we had yesterday, especially for eastern Nebraska. Could start to see some storms as early as 2, 3, 4 o'clock, but more likely that window is probably between about 4 and 8 p.m. With storms lingering across the area as late as 10, 11, maybe midnight tonight. So again, a little bit of an earlier start time for us, but I think a lot of the activity, the bulk of the activity, is likely going to be exiting the area probably by the mid to late evening hours for us here in the capital city. So taking a look at the almanac numbers yesterday, 8145 for a high and low. Again, official rainfall yesterday at least was 5,300, so we've added a little bit more than an inch after midnight last night. So again, even with that, we're still a little more than 3 inches below normal in terms of our rainfall for the year. So again, while it was great that we got it, we need more rounds of rain, which we will see the potential of today. Tomorrow, doesn't look like it's going to be wet, but it's going to be very cool, and it is going to be windy for us as well. It's going to be a kind of a weird day for mid to late May, as temperatures may not even get out of the 40s in some spots of the state. And then overall this week, looks like we're going to be seeing a cooler week, temperatures generally staying below average, and keep an eye on some of the mornings as we head over the course of the next 7 days as well. We could see some temperatures down into the 30s across much of the state a couple mornings as we head through this week. Right now across the state, again, there's a few scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm out there, cloudy skies, some fog in some spots. Right now in Lincoln, you can see the overcast conditions, but we're dry to start the day. North Platte dealing with poor visibility as they have some areas of dense fog, some light rain looks like it's falling there in O'Neill. So kind of got all things going on right now this morning across the state. It's 65 at the Lincoln Airport, 63 here at the Midtown in Midtown Lincoln. Dew point at 60 degrees. Winds a little bit on the blustery side. Again, I think that'll be the case as we head through the day today, but those winds out of the south and east continuing to pull that moisture northward. Eventually, we're going to see those winds swing around more towards the west and to the northwest as this frontal system and low pressure system finally spins its way through the area. Looking at areas of fog across the state, again, we saw the Skycam there in North Platte, just outside of town. Holdridge down to a quarter-mile visibility, same in McCook, mile and a quarter in Kearney. So again, there's some patchy areas of dense fog across the state. You'll want to watch out for that if you're out early this morning. Temperatures on the Lincoln Tempest stations generally sit in the low 60s. Temperatures across the state ranging anywhere from the mid-40s to the mid-60s. The warmest readings in south central and southeastern sections of the state. 63 in Grand Island, 52 in North Platte, 47 degrees right now in Scotts Bluff. Dew points, again, ranging from the low 50s to the low 60s across the 10-11 coverage area. High enough to set the stage for the potential for more severe storms as we head into this afternoon and into this evening. We would like to kind of clear out some of the cloud cover that we have across the state that could impact the potential for severe weather later this afternoon if we don't see any breaks in that cloud cover, to try and warm things up just a little bit as we head through the day today. So that severe threat this afternoon, this evening, is a bit conditional, again, on maybe seeing some breaks in that cloud cover eventually. Winds, again, you can see for the eastern and kind of northeastern side of town, side of the state, out of the east and southeast at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. Already seeing those winds more out of the west and northwest for parts of western and southwestern Nebraska. And again, have already seen some wind gusts up to around 40 miles an hour this morning, not quite that high at the 9 o'clock hour. But again, I think as we head through the day today, again, we'll see those winds gusting maybe as high as 30, 35 miles an hour at times for us here in the capital city. Satellite radar picture, again, for the most part, is pretty quiet this morning. We do have some thunderstorms already developing there across parts of north central Nebraska. So non-severe right now, but again, could be dealing with some lightning, some thunder, some gusty winds, small hail potentially from up near O'Neill, kind of down into the Ord area. But again, overall, things pretty quiet for us as we start the day. If we look at the visible satellite imagery, again, kind of like I mentioned, kind of want to see some breaks in that cloud cover. We can see a lot of that low cloud cover kind of covering much of the central and eastern sections of the state. We can see some of those towers from some of those thunderstorms developing across the north central sections of the state along that frontal boundary. If we go back to the satellite radar picture, look at a regional view, again, you can see that low-pressure system spinning across parts of the Dakotas, even bringing some snow to parts of the Black Hills and the higher elevations there across parts of Wyoming, and then scattered broken rain showers stretching from the Dakotas through Minnesota, Iowa, all the way down into parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. Zoom out, look at a national view. Overall, right now, things are pretty quiet, but again, should be turning busy again into this afternoon with another round of severe weather. As far as weather alerts, not a ton of them. We do have flood watches in place for parts of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Again, more rounds of heavy rain in those areas expected. We will likely see, again, whether it be a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch issued for parts of central and eastern Nebraska later this afternoon, again, with our next threat for severe weather. So if we check out the Skycast model, we'll start with just a regional view. We'll zoom in, take a look at the statewide view, and try and time things out here in just a second. But again, you can see through the morning hours, some of that thunderstorm activity across the northern parts of the state expected to continue as we head towards the noon hour. Hopefully, again, kind of try and start to clear things out just a little bit to get some of that diurnal heating to kind of fuel those thunderstorms. But then as we head past noon, between about 4 o'clock, we're going to watch for that development of thunderstorms. And again, kind of like we see oftentimes here in eastern Nebraska, and especially for us here in Lincoln, a lot will depend on where those thunderstorms begin to kind of pop. Again, our in-house model kind of has those thunderstorms popping right over us here in Lincoln and Lancaster County, and then quickly moving east by 5 o'clock. That main line of storms kind of stretching across parts of western Iowa into far southeastern Nebraska, with an additional kind of secondary line of thunderstorms possible behind that line as we head into this evening. But by 10 o'clock tonight, that severe threat is mainly east and southeast of the area, as thunderstorms then continue to push off out of the region. So again, by about 10 o'clock, we think that threat basically comes to an end, though we could see some lingering showers and thunderstorms into late tonight. And then into the day tomorrow, it's going to be much cooler on the back end of this low. We could see maybe a spotty shower or two, but we should be generally dry and breezy to windy on the back end of that area of low pressure as we head into the day on Tuesday. And then as we head into the day on Wednesday, again, we should be looking at mostly to partly sunny skies, generally dry conditions, but it will be cool. And again, it will be breezy for most of the state through the day on Wednesday. So the severe weather threat today, the greatest threat is going to be down to our south. We actually have a moderate risk for severe weather. That's 4 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale across much across much of eastern Oklahoma into parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and then southeastern Kansas. We see that enhanced risk covering most of eastern Kansas, extending into parts of southeastern Nebraska. That slight risk covering much of the eastern third of the state. Marginal risk for severe weather extending as far west as the North Platte area. So again, isolated to scattered to potentially numerous severe thunderstorms are going to be possible across the state as we head into this afternoon and this evening. The best threat, the highest potential for those severe storms are going to be likely across the far southeastern parts of the state, and then points to our south across parts of eastern Kansas down into parts of Oklahoma where that enhanced and moderate risk currently lies. And so as we head through the afternoon into the evening, that's when we're going to see those thunderstorms begin to develop. And as they do, we think we're going to see the threat for potentially some large hail and maybe a tornado or two. So the tornado threat, again, we'd call it medium across the eastern half of the state. Again, tornado or two can't be ruled out, especially as those storms initially develop and are what we would kind of call more discrete. But as those storms kind of congeal into a linear system, we think that tornado threat will go down, and that wind and hail threat and rain threat will then increase. So again, could see a couple tornadoes today. So again, a good day to make sure you have a good way to get your weather information. Make sure you have that 1011 weather app downloaded and on your phone. Wind threat, again, would be highest across the southeastern corner of the state. That threat for some large hail, potentially hail 2 inches in diameter or larger, kind of covers much of the eastern third of the state. Tri-Cities, Lincoln, Norfolk, Columbus, Omaha, Beatrice, Falls City, Fairbury, Hebron, and down into our northern Kansas counties as well. And then that severe weather threat into the day on Tuesday shifts off to the east. No concerns for us for severe weather for the day on Tuesday or for the day on your Wednesday. So if we zoom in, try and time things out, take a closer look, again, by 10 o'clock, again, we're dealing with that line of thunderstorms there kind of across north-central sections of the state. By the noon hour, that activity continues to kind of lift northward. We'll look for some breaks in some of that low cloud cover again to try and fuel some of the thunderstorms this afternoon. And as we head into the afternoon, we're going to start to see those thunderstorms develop around 2, 3, 4 o'clock or so. Again, our in-house model here has those thunderstorms kind of developing along a line from Columbus, arcing back towards Lincoln and Lancaster County and down towards the Beatrice area. So again, this is what our in-house model has. This doesn't mean this is exactly what's going to happen. I think there is the potential for those storms to potentially start popping maybe a little bit further back to the west. If that's the case, I think the threat for severe storms would be a little bit higher here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. There is also the potential these thunderstorms maybe pop a little bit further to the east, which if that's the case, again, our threat for severe storms would be a little bit lower here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. So again, a lot is going to depend on where this front is and where these storms really begin to start to pop, which is, again, more oftentimes than not, one of the big keys in the threat for severe weather for us here in eastern Nebraska. Because as you move forward in time from 2 to 3 o'clock, we really see some pretty rapid and intense development of those thunderstorms. But that line by 3 o'clock is stretching from up near Omaha kind of down into the southeastern corner of the state. Again, could see some intense thunderstorms, heavy rain, large hail, damaging winds, and again, can't rule out a tornado. As you head towards 4 o'clock, though, again, that line continues to quickly move off to the east. We start to see maybe another line develop kind of in the northeastern corner of the state. We'll kind of keep our eyes on that, see how far southward that we could see some of that development. By 5 o'clock, again, a lot of the activity, a lot of the severe activity looks like it would be over the border into parts of western Iowa and kind of out of our coverage area. Still some lingering thunderstorms, though, in the kind of northeastern parts of the state. And again, how far south we could see some of that development, still a big question mark for us. But then as we head through the evening, again, a lot of that activity kind of blows out of the area. And so by 10 o'clock, I think that window for us is probably closed. So again, kind of a big broad window from about 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock where we think there's the potential for thunderstorms. But really, again, I think for Lincoln and Lancaster County, that window is probably more from 4 to 8. So a little bit of a narrower window for us here in Lincoln, Lancaster County. But for the coverage area writ large, I certainly think by 10 o'clock tonight, most of the activity should be done with. And then as we head overnight tonight into Tuesday morning, again, there could be a spotty lingering shower. But then as we turn our attention into Tuesday, we're going to look for breezy and much cooler conditions across the state. Temperatures well below normal into the day on Tuesday. Again, I think partly to mostly cloudy skies across the state to go with that west and northwest breeze gusting maybe as high as 35 miles an hour at times. Into Tuesday evening, that wind should settle down just a bit for us, but it will likely stay blustery into the day on Wednesday for us as well. So if we look at the precipitation chances again here in Lincoln and Lancaster County, we think they're highest 4, 5, 6 o'clock, but then staying on the higher end even as we head into this evening. But I think that threat for severe weather between about 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock is probably the best window of opportunity for us to see those strong to severe thunderstorms here in the Lincoln area. In terms of rainfall amounts, again, our in-house model again showing that rainfall this afternoon, this evening, not going to be nearly as widespread as it was last night into early this morning. Again, it's mainly going to be the eastern third, eastern half of the state that sees the threat for some showers and thunderstorms. But as those thunderstorms get going, again, we could see the potential for some very heavy rain. Again, thunderstorms could produce 1 inch, 2 inches of rain pretty quickly across the area as they move east and northeast through the region this afternoon and this evening here in Lincoln. Again, our main weather models that we look at have rainfall ranging from around 1/4 of an inch to around 1 1/4 inches. So again, it's all going to depend on where those thunderstorms really begin to pop up and really begin to develop. If it's right over us, that could really limit the potential. If it's just to the east of us, again, that could really sap the potential for any additional rainfall. If it's just to the west of us, that would give us the greatest potential for severe thunderstorms and some areas of heavy rain here in Lincoln and across the county. Now, in terms of temperatures today, again, we are expecting some of the cloud cover to try and clear out just a little bit. Some breaks in the sun allow us to warm up. Again, as I mentioned, that will be conditional for the threat for severe weather. Again, if we can see some of that clearing, that will help enhance that severe weather threat. We don't see as much clearing and it stays kind of cloudy and cooler through the day. That I think would limit the severe threat here for eastern Nebraska. But high temperatures anywhere from the low 60s to right around 80 degrees this afternoon. Warmest readings in the south central parts of the state. Hebron around 81, 77 here in Lincoln, 76 in Grand Island, 68 in North Platte, 57 in Scottsbluff for the day today. Low temperatures tonight falling down into the upper 30s to upper 40s to low 50s across the state, but then very cool tomorrow. Again, our normal high temperatures now generally in the mid 70s across the state, but we're looking at maybe north central parts of the state only reaching the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees into Tuesday afternoon. Here in Lincoln, a high of around 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon, a good 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Also around 60 in North Platte, 60 in Grand Island, 66 in North Platte, low 70s for Ogallala, Imperial, and McCook in southwestern Nebraska on Tuesday. Then check out Wednesday morning again. We're looking at temperatures dropping widespread mid to upper 30s across parts of the Sandhills into parts of central Nebraska. We're looking at low 40s here in Lincoln, so a little bit of a chilly start to the day on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, temperatures staying below normal, mid 50s to mid 60s to maybe low to mid 70s across the state from kind of north to south. Warmest readings in south central, southwestern Nebraska here in Lincoln. We'll say 67 for the day on Wednesday, 68 in Grand Island and Hastings, 75 in McCook. Thursday morning, again, chilly to start the day. Widespread temperatures down to the mid to upper 30s, low 40s across the state. Thursday afternoon, again, I know for a lot of areas, last day of schools on Thursday. Looks like it'd be mostly sunny and temperatures a little bit cooler than normal, but not too bad. Mid to upper 60s and low 70s across much of the state for the day on Thursday. Looking at mid to upper 40s for Friday morning and Friday afternoon. A little bit warmer, but still upper 60s, low 70s for most of the 10-11 coverage area. And you see that extended forecast staying generally in the upper 60s, low 70s over the course of the next week outside of today. Again, today we're looking at mid to upper 70s. Again, that 60% chance for thunderstorms today with a weather alert day that's currently in place for the threat for severe weather, and then we'll see additional chances for some thunderstorms Friday and into the upcoming weekend with another system looking like it's going to be moving through the area. If you look at the 10-day forecast for select cities across the state, generally staying below normal over the course of the next week to 10 days with highs in the 60s to low to mid 70s across much of the state. So again, look a cooler sort of mid to end of May time frame for us when normal high temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s through this time frame. As far as dew points, it still doesn't look like it's going to be overly humid over the course of the next week to 10 days either. Dew points generally outside of today look like they're going to be in the 40s and 50s. And then rainfall chances, again, will be highest today, especially for eastern and southeastern Nebraska. We'll keep at least a small chance in the forecast into the day tomorrow on the back end of that low. Looks dry Wednesday, Thursday for most of the state before those rain chances return Friday into the weekend and into the first half of the week next week. Long-range outlook, again, takes us May 26th through June 1st from the Climate Prediction Center. Tends to favor cooler than normal temperatures for parts of eastern and southern Nebraska, warmer than normal temperatures in the west, and generally favoring above average precipitation across the southern sections of the state through that time frame as well. So again, watching out for the threat for severe weather into the day today. Have that marginal, slight, and enhanced risk for severe weather across the state, with moderate risk for severe weather down to our south across parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. Again, that threat, that window would likely be, again, mid to late afternoon into the evening time frame across the coverage area. All modes of severe weather would be possible. Primary threats would likely be hail, wind, heavy rain, but we can't rule out maybe a tornado or two across the state for us as well. So again, as I mentioned, another good day to kind of have multiple ways to make sure you can get your weather information, whether that's the 1011 weather app, make sure your weather radios got some fresh batteries in it, whatever that might be. Make sure you have your wireless emergency alerts turned on your phone and all those things. Again, we just want you to have as many ways to get your weather information as you can on days like today. So again, storms as early as about 3-4 o'clock, we think. Again, a lot will still depend on kind of where those storms pop up, whether they're kind of right over us here in Lincoln, in Lancaster County, maybe developing just to the west, maybe developing just to the east. That is going to be the big question mark as we head through the day today. Again, we've seen this scenario play out where those storms have mainly developed to the east of the area, and we really haven't seen much. We have seen the scenario where storms have developed to the west of the area, and again, we have seen a lot of severe weather. So that will be one of the big question marks as we head through the day today. So again, make sure you keep it tuned to the forecast through the day today. Keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for the latest details. Again, we'll get new severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center shortly before noon. So again, we'll make sure to pass those on to you folks, and just make sure you got good ways to get your weather information through the day today. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. Again, keep tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest severe weather information. Hope everyone has a nice Monday.